Welcome back to Simplifying the State. As always, I'm your host, Adam Watson, and today we have another special episode for you. Our guest today is Gregory Upchurch, a small business owner and candidate for Missouri State Auditor. We spoke about a number of different things, including what he sees as being one of the fundamental responsibilities of the state auditor, as well as what drove him to run and advice he has for other candidates running throughout the state. But before we begin our episode, if you would be so kind as to rate our podcast as well as follow so you can stay up to date on what's happening in our government and our politics. And if you know anyone who may enjoy the podcast, be it a politics nerd like me or just someone who wants to be more informed, please share the show with them as it really helps us out. And with that, let's get to our conversation with Gregory Upchurch. All right, so thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your campaign is about?
Oh, absolutely. My name is Gregory Allen Upchurch, and I am running for Missouri Auditor because I think we should be able to see what's going on in Missouri.
All right, so you are a small business owner, and then before this, you ran for State House. What sort of led you to make the jump from small business owner to running for State House and now State Auditor?
I've always been interested in politics. I have a picture from when I was probably 14 years old standing next to Thomas Eagleton. You probably don't even know who he is, but a lot of the people that watch this will. He was a great Missourian, let's just say. You can look him up later, but he was a really good guy. And I would do all kinds of, things when I was younger. I'd go to campaign headquarters and I don't know, it enthralled me. I like the buttons. I like the message, when you're a kid, the message doesn't land like it does when you're an adult, but being around the energy and the atmosphere has always been something I kind of enjoyed. And then, this isn't the only business I've owned, but before the other business, I went and got a master's in public administration. So I've always obviously been interested in government, like I said. And then I opened this venue and I'm a wedding industry guy at Grand Opera House Banquet Center in St. Charles, but at the same time, people come, they need the venue, they need to do things. And Democrats tend to find Democrats. So I've been helping all kinds of organizations, all kinds of candidates. I did an event for Cat Clayton just last week, and I got one coming up for Bethany Mann. And this is one of those things, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, you do the do. It's a natural progression for me. And then I just got mad in 2016 because, they weren't listening to us then either. And so I started running because it wasn't popular to run. So I decided to go ahead and run for office and just go for it and give people some kind of choice. The whole state looks really red when there's nobody blue to vote for. And that's what's been important about this election is we got somebody to vote for.
Yeah, I know that there is historic numbers of Democrats on ballots in Missouri. You, I think, are running in a 2-person primary. Am I correct?
It is myself and one other gentleman, yes.
Yes. So I'm wondering, what do you think, and not in like this person is bad for this reason, what do you think the main differentiation between him and you is? Like, what would you bring to the state auditor position that maybe he could not?
The auditor position it's a business, basically. It's full of professionals. If you look on anything, the auditor doesn't actually audit. You run a business like a business. They're all professionals. If you go in there trying to change the culture of that place, immediately there's always going to be pushback. That's not how you start or operate a business. And this is what I know about owning multiple. You treat your employees with respect. You figure out who they are. You have conversations with them. You get to know them. And you figure out what they're all about. And then you work into setting a policy that moves forward. Now, me saying whether I'm better at that than somebody else, that's for some to decide. But I do run a very successful business that I've run for the last 16 years. And the business before that was very successful in the transportation industry. So, the office itself will do what the office does. What it is, it's mostly about setting that policy. Where are we going to go? How are we going to move forward? What are we actually going to look at? Those are the things that matter to people. And that's where the master's degree in public administration comes in of this is how policy is set. This is how policy is driven. And once you get the policy set, then you let the professionals do what the professionals do. And that's how the office will be run, in my opinion.
Yeah. You've spoken about that experience in managing people, and that's sort of a key part of being the state auditor. Are there any other lessons or other experiences from your time as a small business owner that could help you as state auditor?
Well, especially the small business I'm in. I'm in the wedding industry. I speak to people all the time. This is what I do. I host families. I bring together families and they come to enjoy themselves, but they all come speak to me and I speak to them. And I draw people from not only St. Charles, which is where my business is, my door's open to Main Street, but I draw people from West County, from South County, from North County, from other states. I draw a lot of international, believe it or not. And people come to St. Charles and they just cannot believe how beautiful it is here. And I have to agree with them. It's a great city. We've got everything you would want here. It's a beautiful place. And to me, it's, part of the epitome of Missouri. But if you make your way around Missouri, which I have done for multiple years now, in 2020, I ran for lieutenant governor. So I was all over the state. You know what I mean? Like you speak to people all over the state and all over the world. You get to know how to speak to people, how to interact with them, how to be allowed into the room, because we have to be allowed into the room. Now, being a businessman from St. Charles, I get in a lot of rooms. There's a lot of people that will speak to me that they don't instantly tag me with that D tag. Oh, you're one of them. No, it's let's have a conversation. And that's where I have strengths over many of my past opponents and any opponent I have right now is the people who are in will actually have a conversation with me. How are you going to get anything done if we're not talking to each other? And all these kids around the state, I don't mean to call them kids, these young professionals who have also stepped up to volunteer their time to run for office, which in technicality is what we're actually doing. We're volunteering for you to be your representative. So, get out and support these people. Get out and help them. They're trying their best for you. Yeah. There's a lot to be said about this office and how it can go and the way this campaign can go. But these kids around the state are wanting somebody strong to lead them into this election. That's what they keep telling me. They're pulling me aside all across the state. Man, get out there more. Get your face out more. We need you. We need you. We need you. And that's what I'm hearing from these kids all over the state. Again, they're not kids, they're young professionals. But the message is there. The message is clear.
Yeah. You spoke it. You talked about like how you have to have conversations with people who are perhaps of a different party. If you are elected and no other Democrat is elected to those major statewide offices, lieutenant governor, governor, how do you think you can best leverage your abilities and your office to sort of work with them while keeping in mind that Republicans may want to oppose you, they may want to do all that stuff? How do you think you can navigate that?
Diplomacy is always the best solution, period. Open the conversation, start the conversation, speak about it. Do you come to a consensus or do you not? Does it seem shady? Does it need a better look? That's what I'm interested in. Does it need a better look? I'm a sunshine law guy, always have been. I think everybody should know where every cent of their tax dollar is going, every cent of it. And as auditor, there are lots of laws that protect me. Now, of course, you start diplomatically. And then if diplomatically doesn't work, well, then you go open books and you see where the tax money's going, because that's what people in this state really want. This is the show me state, people. I grew up here. I grew up in this town, St. Charles, once considered the Wild West. This is the show me state. Anybody can do this all day long. Open books, look at numbers, let you decide if you're going to get mad or not. That's my plan. And there's laws that protect me to do that for you, the taxpayer. All I'm asking is I get the chance to do it. That's my ask. That's what I'm asking of you. I'm not asking for money. Not right now. Right now, I'm self-financing. The people make the choices. We need money out of this. The message is what matters. If you like the message, share the message. I'll go to bat for you. That's who I am.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people are often, as state auditor, your job would be pretty much to ensure that people's tax dollars are being spent effectively and that they're going to what they're actually supposed to go to. I think a lot of people across America and in Missouri are hesitant or don't like paying their taxes, not just because they don't like paying taxes, but because they think that their money is not being spent effectively or that they're not seeing a proportionate return on investment to what they're putting in. So I'm wondering, like, as state auditor, is there anything that you would do to dissuade this feeling? Because I know that the current state auditor, he does a podcast basically where he goes over different audits and, breaks them down and all that stuff. Is that something you possibly look at continuing, or like how would you ensure that people know where their money is going and so they can feel as though there's a transparent process?
Absolutely. And as far as I'm concerned with that question you ask about transparency, I mean, I started this a long time ago. One of the first things I said was, I'm a sunshine guy. Yes, podcasts, TV news. We have internet. You can put anything on that thing so people can come look at it. This is the whole point. Sunshine laws are sunshine laws. Open the numbers up, let everybody look at them. I'm a numbers guy. I took calculus in high school. I like numbers. Numbers are great, right? So go in, open it up, let people see the numbers, and let them decide if their tax dollar is going to something they want done or not want done. But the secrecy in government has got to go. This is what the problem is. Secrecy, it causes corruption. There's no doubt about it. And one of the things I will speak about, because I want to say this, because I want everybody that watches this to understand something. A lot of these politicians are getting stuck by these data center companies because what they're doing, and I want you to understand, is they're going in and they're making these guys sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, before they can be told any information. Therefore, they can't share the bad stuff with you. So if you want to go after something right now, go after the NDAs go after something that doesn't allow your local officials to sign NDAs before they get the information. It's huge. A little bit of a tangent, but as an auditor, not sure how I could do something about that. It's a little more of a policy, but something I'd like to work on. But again, just like that one, follow the money. There's a money trail in there. Follow that money trail. You'll see who's behind what. Make up your own decision.
Yeah, so I know that, based on what I found, healthcare is a pretty important issue to you. I know it was a big aspect of your last campaign for State House. As state auditor, what sort of impact do you think you could have on healthcare in Missouri? Obviously, the dictating of spending of the money, like allocating it, is a legislative issue. But in terms of making sure it's going where it's supposed to, how do you think you can have an impact on that and making sure that all of that money is going where it's supposed to?
This is where you count on the people who are in the auditor's office who literally are CPAs to do their jobs. This is where you sit down with them. You interview them first. They interview you. You are their new boss. And you make sure the people are committed to doing the job they're doing, which is to make sure that no taxpayer dollars get wasted. And if they're committed to that in this nonpartisan position, if they're committed to that, then it actually goes to, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are in the state. If you are taking taxpayer dollars and you are using them in any way that is inappropriate, we're coming after you. And if the people working there don't believe that, then they need to be replaced. Because again, this is not D's and R's we're talking about here. It's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is everyone in the state of Missouri's money that they paid in, they have the right to know where it goes. I'm willing to open those books. I'm willing to have the sunshine laws to say, yes, this is where your money's going. It was appropriated here. This is where it's going. It's not my word to say whether I'm mad or not, but it is my place to open those books so you can see where your money's going. And that's what I can do. And I'll have a lot of power to do it. Because if you look into what the auditor can actually do, educate yourselves, guys. Look into these things. It's all about policy. It's all about direction. Educate yourself on what the auditor actually does. And let's get a strong person to lead this party in with the top position in the state. And that is me, Gregory Upchurch.
Yeah. So obviously, the state auditor office is the keeper of the tax revenue and making sure it goes where it's supposed to go. Right now, Republicans are trying to introduce a new income tax. They're trying to overhaul the tax system, basically get rid of the income tax, replace it with increased sales tax. How do you think that overhaul could impact the role of state auditor?
I'm going to be busy. I'll tell you that. If this goes through, there's going to be a lot of moving around of money in municipalities. It's going to cause some serious, serious issues. And I'm not sure it's not done just to try to tear it all down. But again, where I'm sitting right now, I can't look at those numbers. I got to rely on somebody who's not putting those numbers out on purpose because, well, they might just have the guy at the top going, come on, team player. You don't need to look at that one. Or they got something they can say, hey, you probably shouldn't look at that one. That's not going to fly with me. If there's a problem and the taxpayer money is going somewhere suspicious or somewhere it's not supposed to be, we're going to track it down and let people know where it goes. Again, it's not my place to get mad or angry, but it's my place to make sure that you, the voter, you, the taxpayer, you, the people of this state, know exactly where your dollars go. And I know it sounds like the same thing over and over again in small amounts, but it's because that's the way it is. You have to have somebody willing to open books so that you can see if there's corruption going on or not. That's what this position is. It's not about D's and R's. It's about corruption and about people wasting dollars that they shouldn't be wasting.
So you suspect that, this changing of the tax code and the, structural changes that will happen as a result of it, you think that that could possibly lead to potential, at least for a shorter period of time, could lead to potential for misuse of public funds or redirecting to perhaps, less than legal avenues, like people could take advantage of the chaos?
Yes, because that's what'll happen. And, look, people say we don't want socialism. Well, guess what you do want? You want that ambulance to show up. You want that fire truck to show up. You want them to take the snow away from your neighborhood. I mean, these are like things we just expect government to do. But guess what happens when you take away those base taxes that actually support those things? That ambulance doesn't come anymore because there's no money. That fire truck doesn't come anymore. Your house burns down. Your kids don't have a school to go to because it's all been privatized. Look where your money goes. Oh, it comes from the Missouri Lottery. It doesn't come from the Missouri Lottery. It comes from the general revenue. It's always come from the general revenue. All they did with the Missouri Lottery was just take that money and shuffle it. It's the same amount of money, and they keep decreasing it all the time. So this is what we're talking about with the reallocation of taxes and trying to get rid of, sales tax, or trying to get rid of the gas tax, or raising the gas tax to cover the sales tax. It's just the shuffling of the same money. The money should be there first, then the policy made. It's kind of backward in this state, but it's backward in a lot of states. Again, the policies are going to change by what they're doing right now. There is no doubt. We will rely on municipalities and people within municipalities to watch what's going on and contact the auditor's office about the improprieties they see. And I have a feeling that's why my first answer was, busy. Because there's going to be a lot of improprieties. There's going to be a lot of moving of money without quorums, without boards voting on it, without somebody just going to make the decision. And it's going to be everywhere. So people pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on right now. Pay attention to Amendment 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're going to be worded funny. Get into them now. Know they're bad. Yeah, there's going to be some stuff coming. These policies, some of them are really horrible, and they're going to affect you financially.
So the state auditor position is sort of unique in Missouri. So it's one of the more purple roles in the state government. So the last state auditor was a Democrat. Before that, it was a Republican. Before that, it was another Democrat. And all the, bureaucracies of all the different offices are supposed to be nonpartisan, but I think the auditors is a uniquely nonpartisan position. So how do you think that Missourians will vote? Because obviously it's a redder state than, Illinois. How do you think that they will vote in this election do you think they'll vote on party, or do you think they'll vote based on policy?
I'm glad you added the then Illinois at the end of that, redder than, because Missouri is not as red as people think it is. It's red in rural districts because there just hasn't been any candidates. How are you going to have a blue vote if there's no blue to vote for? So of course it's red. It's more purple than anything. I wear a lot of purple. This is a purple state. People have no idea, but they're going to find out. And you ask me how people are going to vote? I'm going to tell you how people are going to vote. The Democrats, true Democrats, are going to elect the Democrats. The true Republicans are going to elect Republicans. We got a lot of independents in this state. And guess what they do? They decide who wins elections. And they're going to vote with their wallets. And right now they're getting creamed, not just by the federal government, but by the Missouri State government as well. We're slowly going broke and they're hiding it from you. That's what's going on. We need somebody to get in there, open up books so you can see. These people are going to vote with their wallets. This state's going to turn a really cool shade of blue, in my opinion, because people are mad. And you know how I know they're mad? Because I'm all over this state and they're telling me. They're telling me all the things they're mad about too. But they're really mad about their wallets. And they want somebody to go up there and tell them the truth. And that's where it comes to integrity. I'm in the wedding industry. I've been here 16 years. If I wasn't doing the right thing, you think I'd still be here? No way. This is who I am. This is what I do. I will go be an honest person for you in the state government for everyone. This is nonpartisan. I'm there to show you where your tax money's going. You take the opportunity or you don't. You either want to know or you don't. But again, I'm Gregory Upchurch and I'm running for Missouri State Auditor. And there's a reason why. I'm as mad as you are.
Do you have anything else you think is important or that you'd like voters to know?
Yes. Recruit. Go out in your clubs and get some people to help out. And when I say that, I mean younger people. These candidates are craving younger people to come out and do. Across the state, we got a ton of young candidates. I mean, we got a ton. We got a house. We got somebody in the house in every seat in the state. First time in a long time, right? 100 years, I think. We got tons of people in the Senate seats. There's only a few Senate seats open. So this is where I say we're going to get a true vector of what Missouri is and what color it is. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because the independents are mad and the independents want change and the independents want honesty. So I'm talking to the Democrats as much as I'm talking to the independents right now, as much as I'm talking to the pissed off Republicans that run that fine line between D's and R's. We all live in the middle somewhere, or at least that's where we all operate. And if we can all come together to know that we all operate in the middle and we got somebody there watching the numbers for us, reporting the numbers to us so we can understand, then we know we got something. So watch this state turn and put somebody in there that's going to actually show you what's going on in the state without fear of retribution. That's what I would like people to do. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. The invitation was great. I appreciate everything about it.